Good morning, everyone. A hearty welcome to each and everyone. At the outset, a couple of requests to all my colleagues. Throughout this program, we request everyone to keep their audio and video turned off, and especially not to touch the present now button. Please keep your audio and video turned off throughout the program, and never during the program should the present now button be touched. And the visuals are coming to us from Sai Suram account. So you may pin the Sai Suram account in order to get the visuals of the flag hoisting ceremony. I once again request everyone to keep your audio and video off. Welcome to all members of the Ahmednagar BPHA Society family. Good morning. Hearty welcome to each and everyone once again. Today, Ahmednagar College will celebrate the 74th Independence Day of our beloved country with sincere passion and immense hope. It is an occasion for us to dedicate ourselves to the common cause of nation building at a challenging time. Ahmednagar College comes together today in such a spirit of resolve. On behalf of the college, I would like to welcome our principal, Dr. R.J. Barnabas, the vice principals, Dr. Nagav Day, Dr. Gaikar, Dr. Razak, Professor Vineet Gaikwad, Chief Coordinator, Dr. Somoshi, Registrar, A.Y. Balid, coordinators of various college units. I welcome everyone. Our principal will hoist the flag now.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्जल जलधितरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता
Thank you all. Principal Sir's much awaited address will follow now.
मेसेज लावा सरांचा.
Greetings to you all on this, the 74th Independence Day of our nation. Recently, when I was thinking about what I should speak to you about this morning, my mind wandered to the prevailing situation that we all seem to be confronted with, the unprecedented situation of the COVID-19 pandemic. This pandemic has forced us to spend more and more time in the safety, in the confines of our home, which in turn has given us more time to think and introspect about life in general. One of the important questions that comes to all our mind is, have we, who have been striving for, say, name, fame, recognition, respect among our peers, good jobs, stability, and other things, thinking about everything that is important in life? Or is it something that we have been missing out, that is needed to make our life much more fulfilling? I think on deep thought, we would all come to the conclusion that there are certain things that we probably have neglected in this great race or this desire for these eureka moments that we all look forward to. Simple things in life like spending time with your family, spending time with your friends, looking around yourself and seeing, is there somebody who is in dire need of your emotional, physical, or mental support? These are some of the important things we seem to have missed out. And on overall analysis, one would come to the conclusion that a combination of both these things would make our lives so much more meaningful. In today's age, especially during that of the COVID-19 pandemic, which has been going on in excess of 4 months, so many people are without jobs. Many of them wonder about what their next meal would be, how they would put food on the table, and so many other important issues. And therefore, I think our responsibility as persons who have a reasonably stable life would be try to lend a helping hand to those who we possibly can, maybe our neighbors, our associates, or whom we know require our time and attention. Keeping this in mind, I thought I would share with you a certain story. This is a story which I probably have narrated to you at some point of time, but I think it is important that I repeat this story because it is relevant to the times that we are all in. This is a story based in New York. It's a true story. It is that of a taxi driver who himself is narrating the story, which begins by saying that the taxi driver one day is on a night shift which starts at midnight, and he gets a call for the first client. And when he goes to the address that he receives from his head office, he realizes that the building where he stops is completely in darkness except one room in the ground floor. Normally, a taxi driver in New York would just honk once, wait if somebody comes out. If there is no response, he would just move on to his next client. But this taxi driver was one with a difference. he would normally not just honk and go, but he would go up to the door of that apartment and ring the bell, because many a times through his many years of experience, he realized that there were older people who required time and help to be able to avail the cab facility. So sure enough, he goes to this apartment, which is essentially in dark, except one room. He rings the bell, and after an awkward pause of about 30 seconds or a minute, he hears a frail voice of an senior citizen saying, "Just wait, I'll be there in a minute." And sure enough, in about a minute, the door opens, and he sees that in front of him there's an old lady who's in her 80s. She looks like somebody who's come out of the 1940s movies, wears a frock. He peers into the apartment and sees that the apartment is essentially bare. Everything is covered with bed sheets. It is not like a classical apartment which has, say, frames hanging or some utensils on the wall or wall clocks. Everything has been boxed and kept. And in front of him stands this old lady with the old nylon suitcase that she is dragging along. Very courteously, this taxi driver offers to take this lady and her luggage up to her car. He first makes the old lady be seated in the taxi, comes back, takes her luggage, switches off the light, locks her apartment, and makes himself seated in the driver's side after making sure that the old lady is comfortable in the rear seat. He asks her where he wants to go by looking at the rear view mirror of his taxi. And he realizes there is a tint of glistening in her eyes. Tears are there in the eyes. When she says that, "Son, I have to go to a particular address." And he says, "I'll be very happy to take you there. But she has one request. Why don't you take me from the downtown New York?" He says, "I would be happy to take you, but this is a longer route. It would take more time. I'd prefer that we go by a shorter cut." But she in turn says that, "Don't worry, I have plenty of time." And shedding tears, she goes on to say that all her relatives are now no more. They've all passed on. She herself is suffering from a terminal illness, and she's on her way to her hospital, or a hospice as they call it. A hospice is a place where they normally have people who are in the final stages in life and whom the family cannot take care of. After seeing her tears, the compassionate man in him comes to the fore, and he immediately reaches out from the window and switches off the meter of the taxi, because he doesn't have a heart to charge this old lady for this ride, or this last ride that he's taking her for. As they go downtown New York, this old lady requests him to stop at various points, various locations. For example, at one location, she tells the taxi driver how she had come here dancing when she was a young girl. Another where she worked as an elevator operator for many years, and still another where she lived with her parents. There were some locations where she never really said anything, but she only looked at it and sighed and was deep in thought, and afterwards she would say, "Let's move on and go further down." This went on for about 3 hours, and after about 3 hours, when the rays of the sunlight started coming in, she requested the taxi driver that she was tired now and that she would like to go to the hospice, which was her destination. He readily agreed, and when he took her to the hospice, 2 male nurses were waiting for him. They took the lady out in a wheelchair and wheeled her in. As she was going in, she called the taxi driver and asked him, "How much do I owe you, son?" And he said, "Nothing, Grandma, this ride is on me." But she insisted. And she said, "No, you too have a family and have to make a living." But he said, "No, Grandma, this is just enough. Just giving you so much pleasure gives me so much satisfaction. I will worry about my further clients and taking money from them." The story ends with the taxi driver saying that he hears the door slamming behind him, and for him, he says it signifies the closing of a life. The taxi driver also concludes the story by saying that night he aimlessly drove in the streets of New York, not picking up even a single more client, deep in thought. And as he was thinking, he realized that this was certainly, over the many years that he has been driving, one of the most important trips that he ever took. Why? Because he was able to give so much pleasure to an old lady who was lonely, who was emotionally deprived pleasure, even it was for a fleeting few hours, which gave her so much satisfaction. He also went on to say that our lives are all revolving around certain major events. We all look forward to those great eureka moments in our lives. But many a times it is the smaller moments that count. It is these smaller moments which come to us and give us so much more pleasure when we least expect them. And it is these moments that we should also strive to do and strive to undertake so that we can give happiness to others. And therefore, on the auspices of this, our 74th Independence Day, as we find ourselves in these most uncertain times, not very sure as to when things will normalize, let us all pledge to do something similar to what this taxi driver did in the story, so that we can all get over this pandemic together, knowing that we have become far better versions of ourselves than we ever thought we could. As someone wisely said, we can't go back and change the beginning, but we can start where you are and change the ending. May God bless this great country and this great institution of ours. Thank you.